In your life as a Filipino, have you ever asked yourself that my country, at any one point in time, was a time of prosperity, a time of abundance? I don't know what is your answer, but let me tell you the story. I'm 75 years old, and I was born during the war, at the height of the Japanese war. And therefore, when there is war, there will be less food, if at all. There will be no food sometimes. I was still a bundle of nerves. I was born into that world in the Philippines. We are now in the 21st century, 2018. How many of us Filipinos still go hungry? No food. And yet, food is the nourishment of the soul. Food is the thing that binds the body and the spirit together to make you, to make you the person that not only exists, the person that lives. And that being a person that lives, you are a creator. And therefore, you are also being able to be and to become. Always a life of change. You know what? My mother did not even finish college, not even first year college. She only finished high school. And this was before the war. And yet, I remember when I was already at the age of reason. Our house is not very big in the province. I am from Mindanao. Our house is not small either. It's just average. And yet, my mother, with her entrepreneurial spirit, turned our house into a technical school. She put up a school for hair science and dressmaking. And so when I grew up, I saw this half body, kalbo, and then there is a hair, and then the students are cutting, and I watch. They cut, they trim, they make the body beautiful. And yet, I said, this is what my mother generate funds for us to grow up and to go to school and finish all of my siblings. And not only that, right after the war, 1943, 44, 45, the Philippines was in rehabilitation, but the Japanese were last to leave Mindanao. And so Mindanao had so many Japanese. In our place, they even intermarried the locals. And you know what my mother did? She put up in our house again, there is the technical school. She put up, at that time, later on, called the NARIC, which is equivalent to the NFA now. The National Food Authority, before once upon a time, was called National Rice, NARIC. And then together with it, there was also a marketing group which is called NAMARCO, the National Marketing Corporation, and they sell this dilata, sigarilyo, tabacalera, etc. And that is how my mother earned. Very entrepreneurial. And yet, I never really experienced saying to myself, we were in a life of abundance. Palaging struggle, struggle, struggle. And we thought that every administration is going to be a regime for prosperity. Many people, many Filipinos are very entrepreneurial. And one of them, very good friend of mine as well, came from poverty. And he rose to become one of the richest persons in the Philippines, and he even owns this whole mall. And his name is Manny Villar. And yet, as a person I know him, he is one of humility. One who is grounded. What is humility? It comes from the Latin word humus. Humus in Latin means earth, soil. So humility means a person is of the soil, is grounded. And unless and until we are grounded, we cannot go far. And that is the story of blessed Okiniiri, Japanese Resto. It is grounded, it begins very small. It started 2016 December, so transition. So we started actually 2017. Now 2018 is not yet even finished. And how many Okiniiris there are? Okiniiri BF Homes, Okiniiri Davao, and Okiniiri Vista Mall, Molino. Why? It also has a relative. And its relative, so Okiniiri Japanese. The Philippines was under the Japanese regime. So for so long a time, the Filipino tastes had Japanese. But even before the Japanese, for 400 years or almost, we were under Spain through the administration of Mexico. So all the food of Mexico, all the fruits of Mexico, avocado, sili, and so on, came to the Philippines through the Acapulco, Manila trade, that galleon trade. And the Filipino taste, therefore, also had the Spanish taste. Thus was born Bless Las Paellas, Spanish food. So from Japanese to Las Paellas. And then the Blessed Group, Amari Group, also had a small hotel. It's operating a boutique hotel, 12 rooms only, in BF Homes, and it has a small restaurant called Cafe Amare. And it caters to native Mediterranean food. So what does it mean? That the Blessed Amari Group, which is in the food and hospitality business, is into the business of satisfying the customers, the Filipino palate, which historically has a Spanish taste, a Japanese taste, and an international space because for once we were under the British for a while. And if they succeeded, we would be like in the level of Hong Kong or Malaysia. But we want our independence. Now here comes again another period in our history. The Americans came to liberate us from the Japanese. And so what happened? We had I don't know, how do you pronounce it? The hamburger or the hamburger or the French fries and so on, or the fast food. So here came the American food with their quarter pounder and above all, their steak. Because there was a base in Angeles and they had a commissary. But all of these, two people got together. And that is Jessie Maloles and myself. Just 2 years ago, when I met her, I shared my dream. Why can we not be together? You are young. I don't know how young she was, 39, 40, and I am 70s. Maybe if we put together, you will have wisdom and I will have youth. And together, we may succeed in business. And that is how we put together our time, our talents, and our treasure together. And when we bought Okiniiri, which in Japanese, Okiniiri means favorite. Paborito. Favorite. So when you hear a Japanese, the three dancers here were pure Japanese. When you say Okiniiri, it means favorite. Isn't it that when you hear the word bless, which in Tagalog means pinagpala or grasya, isn't that our favorite food? It is the food of the Spirit, grace, blessings, pinagpala. And so if you combine bless favorite, which is bless Okiniiri, we cannot be far behind following the God, our God, which in my belief is the God of abundance. God is not the God of poverty. God is the God of abundance. And all we have to do is open our hands, open our minds, open our hearts, so that the filling in of the abundance of the divine will fill up our total being. But if you keep it to yourself, you are filled. But you cannot be refilled unless you spit it out. A glass which is full is filled. But unless and until it overflows, it cannot get more water. Same thing with our pockets. Same thing with our wallets. Our pockets or our bank account will be full. But unless and until we share it is not in congruence with the abundance of divine providence. Unless we empty ourselves, we cannot be refilled. And we have to be refilled. Look at a piece of air that is inside a room and you enclose it, even if the room is filled with air. At one point in time, it becomes stale. And after a while, it becomes odorous. And after a while, instead of health, which is wealth, it gives you sickness, which is death. That's why, in the wisdom of humanity, the house must have windows and doors so that people can come into your living home. You must have a door also in your heart. Bless Okiniiri has open heart and open door. There we don't make the pig with authentic Japanese ingredients. Even if we have very little profit, the reason for the existence of Blessed Okiniiri is not money. The reason for its existence is you share divine providence. And if that happens, then we will never, ever stop saying pasasalamat at papuri. And if you will not stop me now, I will continue and you will miss the next part of the program, which is more beautiful than even any of the things that I say. And therefore, I will turn this microphone again to the MCs. From the bottom of my heart, in behalf of Jesse and myself and the blessed Amari Group of Company staff, salamat po. In Japanese, they call it arigato. In Tagalog, they say, salamat po. Don't just come now. Because if you don't come, then there is no climax in your life. So you better come back to Okiniiri. Your life will be better. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nelson Mendoza. Arigato, sir, for that very wonderful and informative insight.
Yeah, that's great. I would also like to highlight again one of his words, no? Na parang for you to be able to be renewed, you have to empty yourself and share whatever you have to others. So thank you very much, Sir Nelson, for
That's right.
the very kind words.
Okay.
All right.